Hi, I'm Matty the gardener and I'm with Andrew Gibson.
Hi.
Do you want to introduce yourself?
Andrew Gibson. Day job is working with Yorkshire Wildlife Trust. Everyday life is trying to put nature back in the city.
And we are here in Finkers Corner, the statue's just here, and we're going to be understanding how we can put nature back into Finkers Corner.
So, the features within this park are the big trees, the grass and the statue in the middle, and that's what we have to work with. And people like that formalisation, so I would suggest that the path areas are kept clear. You know, the free of moss, that gives access to all, there's no slipping on it. Keep the edges of the grass mown for maybe 600 mil to a metre all the way around the edge. That way it's not flopping into the path area and people feel comfortable. But then try and find some areas in the centre of one of them that is maybe only cut 2 or 3 times a year. And that area is then raked off, goes on your compost bin. If we can get some yellow rattle, which is a plant which is semi-parasitic on grass, that reduces your grass volume, and we can start to manage it as a piece of meadow within the city. It won't be bright colours, but it will have hidden eyes in there. All the insects and all the things that use it will be in there. And we just have to learn to think differently about these pieces of grass. So yeah, you know, people and nature, that's the balance. The people maintain it, the nature will adapt in this small location. And how much nature do we want in? So we want people to use this space, we want to be in here, but what can we do to make that happen? So as we've talked about putting a meadow into the park, you know, that sounds a really grand thing, and we've seen so many in the city where they've added really a horticultural mix along the sides of the road, and that needs rejuvenating, renewing every year because it's not sustainable. What we need to look at within the park is a sustainable piece of nature, and that could be done behind me. We could mark an area off, put bulbs in, whether it be daffodils, bluebells, whatever things you want, which are really garden plants, but as they come through, the person with the cutter doesn't cut them, they leave them. And if we can introduce some wildflowers in there, some yarrow, some knapweed, something like that, and that area is left, you've still got this sunny summer spot in the middle, and you'll have a rectangle or something behind me which has longer grass. Now that's cut 2, 3 times a year maximum, and that grass is raked off. So once the council think, oh, we can cut that now, and whenever they do cut it, if we don't have that full dialogue, then they'll leave the grass there, and your volunteers would rake that off, put it on your compost bin. It's doing a nature job. It's also doing the people job because they're involved in the park. You would still have to litter pick it if people throw things over the fence, but don't think we have to cut it so the litter stops coming in. No, we're keeping it there for nature, we pick the litter and we change how we think and look at things. So we're in one of the historical walls of the park, and these are gravestones, there's all the history here. It's really enjoyable when people do that research and make the link with the city. The area in front where a lot of vegetation is being cleared is trying to find what we want to do, and I think this is where the volunteers come in. So this area could be flattened down, we could have a large log placed in front of it, create an ivy dome, allow the grass to grow in there, and then see how we cope through the introduction of some new plants. Matt's had this brilliant idea where you cut a small square of turf out, allow the cutters to go over the top of it, some plant, whether it be a thyme, a rosemary, chamomile, one of those lives in that slight recess, and this could be our trial area to make them changes.